The football team has no name. The New York Giants fans have no shame. And it's been Batman forever since the Cowboys won the big game. You are now watching a Philly Fuego production. Gracias, amigos. Fly, Eagles, fly. Welcome to the Nest Out West, where Eagles fans are always the best. I will always ride or die for this team, and when I'm gone, please bury me in green. Now I don't want to come off like I'm bragging, but I'ma bring the heat like an effing dragon. You can call me Fuego, aka Phillyzilla, coming to you like the Thriller in Manila. Lots of collabs and live streams galore. You're gonna love what I have in store. Giving you my all, I always will try. And just remember, it's fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah. What is good? What is going on? And what is cracking? I'm Philly Foothills, and I am back in the Nest Out West, where I'm trying to bring you the best when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles content on YouTube. And today, we are live on not only YouTube, but also Facebook as well. So please make sure, read the ticker down below, check out all the new stuff that's going on with the channel. And today, I am very, very happy and humbled to be joined by my guy here, the biggest Eagles fan from the DMV, the one and the only, Pablo Gary. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, man? I appreciate that introduction, and I like the whole setup you got here. I actually feel like I'm in a nest for real. So that's
Definitely. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yeah, we let everybody know, like what's going on with your channel. Are you excited? How you feeling about this upcoming season? Things like just before we get into that, just before the upcoming season, just let them know about your channel and where they can reach you at and things like that.
Yeah. So, well, first, let me just thank you, man, on your channel in front of your audience. Thank you for the opportunity to sort of partnership and collab with you, man, to discuss the team that we all know and love.
Yes, sir.
If you guys are ever needing more content to watch and binge on, because I'm a fan first, so I like to binge watch on a bunch of creators as well. You can always find me on my channel. Just type in Pablo Gary. As he mentioned earlier, I am the number one, or I like to think I am the number one Eagles fan from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And man, I bleed green, man. I've always sort of loved the Eagles since Donovan McNabb and Todd Pinkston and Brian Westbrook and Lito Shepherd, Shelton Brown, Brian Dawkins, so that kind of era is what sort of sealed the deal for me as an Eagles fan, man. And I'm just really excited to have been able to been a part of the Super Bowl in my lifetime. So that just kind of sealed the deal. Some people wait until the 80s, 90s to see their team actually win. But we won it, when I was like 27 at the time. So yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, we finally got it done. We finally got it done. Yeah, because I was not born an Eagles fan. I was both of my parents were born. Not my mom was born in San Francisco. My dad was actually born in Canada, but in middle school he moved from Winnipeg to the North Bay area. So they were both 49er fans. So as a kid, I was a 49ers fan, but when I hit the age around 12, 13 years old,
Yeah.
that's when Randall Cunningham started popping off, and yeah, I started watching the Eagles more and more, and I fell in love with the team, and yeah, I've been a fan ever since. So yeah, I've
Nice.
been definitely been bleeding green for quite a while now.
I
Definitely.
see
So
you, man. You got
yeah,
all those. Your
oh,
background
yeah,
is crazy, man. Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate it definitely. Yeah, so yeah, definitely all my Philbillies out there. Please welcome Pablo Gary into the Nest Out West. We appreciate you coming on 100%. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This is gonna be a good live stream here. So I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about. Um, but before we dive into that a little bit, I just want to kind of ask you, what are your thoughts from the first couple days of training camp and what you've
Uh,
been seeing out there?
well,
Much
number
of you, I don't
one.
know if you've watched a whole lot yet, but
Well,
if
I've
what
watched I've
you've heard.
watched some of the lives, but I think just like every Eagle fan, man, it's just exciting to see the team sort of hit the field. One of the things that sort of uh, caught my attention is how, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts, these guys are really all on the same page. And so what I'm really paying attention to, especially since Coach Sirianni, this is his first year, rookie season, head coach,
Yes,
is
sir.
just the energy that he brings to the team and, our guys, responding to him and also paying attention to Howie Roseman and trying to see, is Howie Roseman going to allow Nick Sirianni to do his job? You know what I mean? And watching the press conferences, it seems that Howie Roseman is really, allowing him to implement his systems, allowing him to really do what he has to do. And that's what I'm really paying attention to. Not so much really the players, because you're not going to get a lot right the first week, even first month out of
Yeah.
the training camp. All you can do is hope that guys don't get injured. Hopefully there's no freak accidents. Like my guy up in LA, Cam Akers, I think it was obviously before training camp,
Yeah.
torn ACL. So you just want to make sure that doesn't sort of creep up on this football team. But I really, really like how it seems clear. It seems like Howie Roseman, what his job is clear. Coach Sirianni's job is clear, and Jalen Hurts is clear about how he's going to lead this team. What the expectations are for him as a leader. And it feels good. It feels good because it's been so much like cloudiness and Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz. Like this team has been tossed to and fro. It's kind of like now I feel like we have a sense of direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you because I definitely like, I haven't seen as much of Steichen, but I definitely
Mhm.
like what I'm hearing and seeing from our defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. He has a swagger about him. He definitely I could see this guy, if he's as successful as I think he's going to be as a defensive coordinator. I definitely see him being a head coach before long too. So we better enjoy him while we can, because we know how the NFL moves these years and these days. So the guys move from team to team a lot pretty quick. Just like we lost Frank Reich. We won a Super Bowl, but boom, we turn around
Yeah,
he's gone. So
that's the golden
definitely
ticket.
definitely high turnover when you're
Yeah.
successful at
Hmm.
your when you're definitely highly successful at your craft. It's definitely it's going to be fruitful for you.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like any of these new position coaches, any of these guys you have an extra eye on that you're interested, to see how they're gonna fit in.
The running backs coach, and I say him because I think as Eagles fans, we all want to see Miles Sanders sort of take off. You know what I mean? Really have that year that we all know he can have. And so I think it's important. I think Miles Sanders and Deuce Staley really had a great relationship, and not just Deuce Staley, but all of the running backs in that running back room had a great, rapport with Deuce Staley. He's so respected by the team and, abroad in the NFL. And I just think, you know, this is his third year, right? This can't be the year that Miles Sanders has a major decline, in stats and in production. So I'm really sort of keeping my eye out on the running backs coach to see if he can if he can increase his stat line, if he can and increase his production. That's going to tell us what his value is. Because we all need. I think this offense needs Miles Sanders to sort of get going, relieve pressure off of Jalen Hurts, and so that we can have a respectable a system and balance between the run game and the passing game. And so, he's somebody that I'm watching. Hopefully, he can get Miles Sanders up to date. Oh, I will like to add, I am watching the wide receiver coach, Coach Moore, not necessarily from a not a, a coach's production, but a player's production. Like, can he, like I was saying with the running backs coach, can he get these guys over the hump? And I know that we all probably trying to see what can he do with JJ Arthega-Whiteside. I think he's a name that we're all trying to see. Okay, here's another year for JJ, a new system for JJ. What can he do? So if he's able to sort of, propel JJ Arthega-Whiteside into something, into something,
Yeah,
I think that'd be great.
and he because of I think because Quez hasn't. I don't think Quez has been having issues passing his physical, so he's been out, and I think Greg Ward was out for an illness reason, non-COVID related. But yeah, the they had JJ in the slot. I don't know if you've seen that. So
Really.
yes, they had him. They had him running with the number ones as a slot wide receiver. So that was pretty interesting.
Well,
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's actually sort of smart. You think back to Chip Kelly days, Jordan Matthews really had a lot of success in the slot. And the reason why is because, Jordan Matthews is like 6'3". I think JJ is like 6'2". It's one of the reasons why the Eagles drafted him is because his effectiveness in the red zone, and being able to, get, high point the football. I think he is going to be matched up with cornerbacks that's anywhere from 5'8" to 5'10". So what he can do, though he can't separate a lot, I think he's going to be able to use his physical traits to get open, and just to kind of make some plays in the slot. So I think that's where he needs to be. The outside is not where JJ needs to be. The cornerbacks in today's NFL just entirely too fast. They're just too fast. I mean, they're twitched up, and they can move. They can change that. Like if you have a cornerback who is great at changing direction, right? And you have a wide receiver who can't change direction, it's a mismatch all day long.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
I
I think
definitely
that's
agree
pretty
with
cool
you.
that they have him in the slot, though.
And I like your and I definitely like the positive spin on it because a lot of people have been down on JJ, and he is still he's still on this team. He's still a Philadelphia Eagle, and until otherwise, we have to kind of see, because he was a first round draft pick. We have to see if we have something there, because what if it was just what the word I'm looking for is, what if he was just a product of the system, right? What if it was all, what if it was coaching with JJ? Because in the glimpses that we did see him get the ball thrown to him, he did. I remember seeing him make a pretty damn good, you know, um, it was very very contested catch over the middle. It was
I
a
know
deep throw.
two defenders
So
on him. Yeah, draped
right,
on him. Mhm.
exactly. So, do we I think I'm starting to think more and more that we maybe possibly, just because of everything with his mom being out in the practice last year with the umbrella being held over him and things like that. He's definitely got a tarnished name, sort of, so to speak, in a way, because you know how the fans are in Philly. They're very very, it's do or die. It's cutthroat.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's so weird, man. In Philadelphia, like on one hand, let's talk about Nelson Aguilar for a second, right?
Yeah,
Because I think Nelson Aguilar and JJ Arthega-Whiteside sort of have the same matriculation in terms of how their career is developing. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, the Philadelphia Eagles, we waited 5 years to see what Nelson Aguilar is. And I think because of that process, it's like, man, we just don't have time. We don't have the energy anymore to wait 4 or 5 years to see if these guys develop. And I think that's sort of what's going on in Philadelphia. We need to see what you can do, and if you can't, we need to move on. So it's just funny, man. Some folks can wait 5 years for Nelson Aguilar, but then we can't wait 3 seasons for JJ. So, we'll see.
yeah. And I think we should be maybe definitely try to take that more patient road when it comes to him. But anyways, speaking of wide receivers, I don't know if you've seen it yesterday, but and I know it was because Rieger was out and Quez was out, and even I think even Greg Ward was out, like I said, due to non-related COVID illness. But they had Devontae Smith back there fielding punts. I just my eyes got really big. Like, what are we doing with our first round pick? That's got to
Yeah,
be just a first day thing, right? I mean, just kind of going through the motions. Hopefully,
yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it just because, you try to do anything to get a guy reps. And so we see Devontae Smith fielding punts, but Nick Sirianni sees Devontae Smith getting an opportunity to get on the field, focus, bring the ball in, and just use it as another form of reps. You know what I mean? So fans, we just see it from a whole different perspective. But I know that Nick Sirianni is smarter than that. I would like to believe that Howie Roseman, even though he showed us time and time again that the elevator doesn't go to the top floor sometimes. I don't think they're going to put Devontae Smith in that spot and in that situation. Especially when you're talking about his build, right? This has been a narrative that kind of spooked everybody out. This is why the best player in college football dropped all the way down to 10. So why
yeah,
would you put him in harm's way? I don't think I'm not going to read too much into it. Now, if this was preseason and he actually was returning punts, yeah, we got to have a conversation. But no, it's not something that I'm reading into right now.
definitely, definitely. And yeah, shout out to the couple people that are in the chat right now. Coach
Absolutely.
Dante, what's going on, my guy? Shout out to you. Definitely, he's a newer Eagles fan. Definitely, kind of we've taken him under our wing, so to speak.
Coach
He's a
Dante,
he's a
I
Texans fan by heart, but he's definitely made the Eagles his second team. That's for
okay,
sure.
okay. I was gonna say we might have to get that image
But
changed
yeah,
up, but okay, he's working. We're gonna have
yeah, he
patience
is.
with Coach like we need to have patience with JJ Arthego-Whiteside.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. And I like Gang 31. What's going on? Thank you for joining the live stream. We really appreciate it.
Shout
But
out to you,
yeah,
Bird
so
Gang.
yeah, I definitely don't want. I agree with you. I don't want Devontae Smith anywhere near the special teams unit at all this year. And yeah, I hope it was just like you said, just kind of going through the motions and bringing that confidence level. Keeping it high, definitely. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I've been shout out to you, the ticker says on the bottom for recently hitting 200 subs, and I've been watching a little bit of your content, and I know you got some really really strong feelings about all this Deshaun Watson chatter. Like it says Deshaun Watson this, Deshaun Watson that. So I
Yeah.
really really want to hear you kind of spill your guts right now on the Nest Out West about how you're feeling about Jalen Hurts, about all this Deshaun Jackson. I mean, it's just Deshaun Watson, I should say.
Hmm.
Uh, talk. So you definitely let's hear it. Definitely let us know what's going on. How you feeling, Pablo?
I appreciate the question, man. This is something I'm definitely passionate about, and thank you for checking out my video on this
Yes,
topic. I just think, you know, when you look at the position that Jalen Hurts is in, how he got to Philadelphia, the situation that he was put in once he got to Philadelphia, and how he's handled himself. 22 years old, um, a winner, a great leader, and you see how the team has responded to him. You know, I think sometimes we as fans we think like this is like they're robots. Like they're not robots. Like the first person that Devonte Smith met when he got to Philadelphia was his former teammate Jalen Hurts, right? So
absolutely.
that's the first guy he met. So what's going to happen? How are we just going to say, okay, bye, Jalen, and put Deshaun there? It just doesn't happen that way. I think Deshaun Watson, great player. Um, I think we all know, let's go back to Michael Vick, right? Let's go back to his situation. The Philadelphia Eagles are not a franchise that can win at a high level when there's drama surrounding the quarterback position, i.e., Michael Vick, i.e., Carson Wentz, right? So when you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts that's young, he's fresh, he's a leader, and guys are responding. My whole thing is why mess it up? Why mess up a good thing that you have just by trying to bring in Deshaun Watson? I think it's just not a for me, I'm just not willing to give up 3 first round picks for Deshaun Watson. I feel like we would be paying for a headache at that point because you're giving up 3 first round picks and a kid in Jalen Hurts who has so much potential. I mean, in my humble opinion, I feel right now that Jalen Hurts is at least 50% of what Deshaun Watson is. And if he's at least 50% of who Deshaun Watson is, imagine who he's going to be when he turns 26. Deshaun Watson is already 26 years old. So imagine the development, right? The imagine what he can be when he turns 26. So I feel it's one of those things where I think mainstream media is really drumming that up, and this is what I was talking about earlier about clarity in our front office with Howie, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen. I forget, it was one of the reporters that asked Howie Roseman about the trade rumors, and Howie said, straight up, I think because we have multiple first round picks, we're going to have the financial capital in the future. Mainstream media is just going to throw our name in there. And
Right.
so what I'm hearing from Howie is we're not trading Jalen. And he said, listen, this entire team is young. Our quarterback is young. Our coach is young, right? We have young players. We're not going to sit here and mess this up. Howie Roseman in the front office, I believe they understand how important it is to develop and grow, to develop and grow. And for me, Deshaun Watson, great player again, but he is just a headache. I think if the Eagles did not have Jalen Hurts, if we did not take him with the second round pick last few years ago, absolutely bring Deshaun to Philadelphia. But this is a bust that I'm willing to miss because Fletcher Cox is not getting any younger. Darius Slay is not getting any younger. The Philadelphia Eagles need blue chip players. We need to take that draft capital and invest it in our defense and go from there.
Hey,
No, not the head clap.
very well said. Very well said, my friend. Definitely, that was. Hey, I'm behind you 100%. And I think for me, Jalen Hurts is going to have to look very, very bad this next year for me to completely want to give up after just 1 year. So I'm with you. I'm ready to build around this kid and put out, like you said, push all the chips in the middle when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Let's do everything we can. A lot like we didn't do for number 2 for the Colts. We didn't put those pieces around him. So, that's another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about too, is that the whole issue with, I don't know if you've heard about it, but Carson Wentz and the issue with, it sounds like he's not being open about whether he's taken the vaccine or not. I don't know if have you heard about that?
I seen an article about it, but Carson Wentz is like so yesterday for me. It's like he doesn't even really matter. Like I tell me and
Yeah,
Moochie Robinson, shout out to him. We talk offline a lot, and I just say Carson Wentz was just he's just not built for Philadelphia. He's not built for
agreed.
Philadelphia. And I want to say this, and I want to say it very, very with a sensitive spirit. I just want folks to really think about the experience when there is a quarterback of color running this franchise and when there is an opposite quarterback. I just feel like black quarterbacks do a better job with handling the media. We have stronger mentals. They have stronger mentals. Not to say he was just this wimp, but you could tell it weighed on him. When you think about Michael Vick, what kind of mentality and how strong does your mind have to be if you can come out of prison? I mean, Michael Vick couldn't even walk into the Lincoln Financial Field without a sign that was telling the truth or maybe not about him, but he still produced, right?
Facts.
Donovan
Yeah.
McNabb still produced. Randall Cunningham still produced. So, for me, Carson Wentz, it is what it is. I think the Philadelphia Eagles just got caught up in the hype, in the whole traditional 6'5", smart, intelligent, strong arm quarterback. And then he gets to Philadelphia and he's not mentally strong. So Carson Wentz is so yesterday for me.
I got you. I got you. Yeah. So definitely, I know I think the only reason people are still talking about him is because it, if for some reason, he it could affect our draft pick going into next year. But
I didn't even
I
think about that.
definitely, yeah, I definitely agree with you when it comes to him as a player going forward. And you know, I oftentimes question his toughness, and it not necessarily when I say that I mean his mental toughness, like you were just talking about.
Oh yeah, he's tough as
Because
nails.
his physical toughness is
Oh yeah.
that's he's taken some huge hits on and off, on and off the field now, but
Hmm.
he definitely on the field and gotten up time and time again. So yeah, it's it's always been a question of me, and especially in the back of my head of his, his mental toughness, especially coming from a small town like he did.
Hmm.
And yeah, there was times when he would make mistakes and he would be smiling or laughing even, and I think that was like nervous energy in a way, but that's never
Mm.
something that you want to see out of your quarterback. It never is, because a true competitor will never be smiling, never be patting a defender on the back for stopping them on fourth down or anything like that. A true competitor is going to be pissed off, and they're going to be waiting. They're going to be chomping at the bit to get back out there on the field.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yes, I mean, I definitely questioned, especially last year. Questioned his, just his mental toughness and his really, really like 100% like diehardness, competitiveness. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't. I didn't see it.
Yeah. I think it just got to him. It really ate him up. I think obviously, and what's so crazy is why do we blame it on Jalen Hurts? He didn't do anything. He just got drafted here. The guy that really ate Carson Wentz up was Nick Foles. It wasn't Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts just got here. Shout out to Big Play Slay, man. He's always showing love.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So I mean,
shout out to Don Beck as well for chiming in. He said Jalen Hurts pitched a 650. That's extremely impressive.
yeah. What's going on,
Absolutely.
Don Beck? What's going on, Don Beck? Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I think what I want to do is
And we got a big timer in the house, Philly Mike. Philly Talk Podcast. He said Deshaun Watson. Yeah, just kidding. I know that would make Pablo go off. LOL. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that's why I definitely been um
yeah.
enjoying a lot of your stuff more recently too, because I know you had
Philly
some really, really strong convictions.
Philly Talk knows how to push my buttons. I love that guy, man.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
it
him on the
really is.
channel recently. He really is. So, Philly Mike, shout out to you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
for
popping
sure.
into the live stream. We appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean, let's definitely change the subject off of number 2 from the Colts.
Please.
Um, so today, I don't. We talked about it a little bit pre show. It looks like Jalen Rieger. He's dealing with a close friend that was murdered. So he today he failed his conditioning test. So they said he's definitely not in a good mental state right now. He's definitely grieving from losing a real close friend. So
Mhm.
that's definitely hopefully it's something that he can get put behind him soon. And yeah, rest in peace to to Rieger's close friend. That's always a shame to hear stuff like that. But
But you
yeah, I
know
want to
what?
get your
Uh,
thoughts on that
sorry,
definitely. And no, go ahead.
sorry about that. It's a delay on
Good.
my end. One
No,
second.
you're good.
Okay. Um, what I like about how you sort of talked about this, the Jalen Reagan failing his condition. There was you brought some humanity to it. You know what I mean? It's like if you were at work, right? I mean, his work is just on the football field, but if you were at work and your best friend was murdered, that's going to affect you some kind of way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely condolences to Jalen Rager and his family and who his close friend who was murdered and their family. Um, I've never had a close friend, taken away from me. Couldn't imagine what he's going through. But yeah, man, that's just one of those things that unfortunately happened. Now Goddard failing a technique drill for turning the wrong way.
Right.
um, Come on, man. It's it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's one play, one mistake. Give the guy a break. I think they'll both be able to hopefully put that this these separate things behind them very soon.
Is this the same guy they're trying to sign to a multi-million-dollar deal, and they're talking about how he can't turn right, turn left?
Right? I
Um,
mean, those are rookie mistakes. He definitely should have that put behind him, far
that's
far
true.
behind him. I agree.
That's true.
Yeah, because you know, there's been a little bit of rumors too talking about Zach Ertz being that Zach Ertz is still on this roster. Too like what if Howie Roseman pulled some crazy stuff because Goddard's still under his rookie contract and he could you never know with crazier things have happened how he could possibly trade Goddard. So that would be absolutely insane in my opinion. What would you think about that? Because I don't
Yeah,
know. It really seems like Ertz wants the hell out of Philadelphia. He's really unhappy.
yeah. I think the needle for Zach Ertz leaving or wanting to absolutely be out of Philadelphia has changed a little bit. I think the needles moved back to maybe I can stay. Um, Dallas Goddard, no, he's not going anywhere. What I think is, um, you know, right before training camp during the off season, what I learned is, man, some of these Eagle beat writers, man, they will drum up anything to get a click. Anything to get a click, man.
Yes, they
So
will.
it just it doesn't make sense. If this is what Howie Roseman was really, so you sort of maybe neglect is the wrong word, but you sort of kind of press pause on the whole Zach Ertz contract situation just to have him wait the whole summer to make it all about Dallas Goddard, to wait till he gets back and make it about Zach just to trade Dallas Goddard. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I Dallas Goddard is going to be here for a long time. We're going to see him sign his contract very soon, and that situation is going to go away, and he's going to figure out which direction to turn. Zach Ertz, um, I saw a picture of Howie Roseman and Zach Ertz. Sort of, I guess they were having a conversation. To
Yeah.
me, that's a very, very big sign. That's a very, very big sign. And my stance on Zach Ertz is, man, he's an Eagle great man. He's probably going to go down if Dallas Goddard doesn't, blow him out of the water in terms of
Right.
stats. But he's probably going to go down definitely as one of the greatest tight ends in Philadelphia Eagles history, if not the great, alongside Brent Selleck. But my thing is, if I'm Zach Ertz, his PR team or his agent, man, should say, hey, man, you got to look at Howie Roseman and how he handles, older players. When you think about Brandon Graham is 34, 35. He re-signed them to a deal. Howie Roseman has no problem in re-signing guys who have produced, especially guys who've helped you win a Super Bowl. Okay, let me make the point even clear. We all knew Jason Peters, his time, he should have been
Yeah.
gone. But what did Howie Roseman do? Extend him, extend him, extend him, right? So I think,
Exactly.
you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and where our cap number is heading into the next offseason. I don't want to look too far ahead, but
Yeah.
we're sort of north of $40 million. Do you think that Howie Roseman, you got to understand, Dallas Goddard's first contract is not going to be like this Travis Kelsey kind of deal, right? You may see 5 years, 50 million, 25 million guaranteed. It's not going to be like some 80, 90, $100 million deal. So the Eagles are going to have enough financial, capital to keep both tight ends. It's just, can Zach Ertz sort of play the role that Brent Selleck had to play, right? Because when Brent Selleck was the guy, Brent Selleck had to sort of step back and become more of a blocker and sort of the second pass catcher. So now it's just really all about ego. You know what I mean? Can you do what's best for the Philadelphia Eagles? And if I'm Zach Ertz, I'm sitting there saying to myself, I got Devontae. They have Devontae Smith. They have Jalen Hurts. They got Miles Sanders. The offensive line is good. They got a young tight end. I can help this team get over the hump. And I'm going to make it more about legacy. I think him leaving, the way Carson Wentz left, it just doesn't need to happen. So for me, Zach Ertz, I believe when it's all said and done, he will remain a Philadelphia Eagle.
Okay. And I think to me you hit the nail on the head with one word. and it's that's going to be big for him, and that's ego. Because, and I say that, and shout out to my guy, my new partner in crime, AK Eagles, for bringing this up. You know, when we're doing a lot of Zach Ertz talk recently, obviously, but we know what's his touchdown celebration. What,
Zach Ertz.
yeah, what does he usually do after he scores a touchdown? Exactly, he points at his name.
Hmm.
Exactly. So he's got to swallow that pride a little bit, and you also hit the nail on the head with talking about he's got to kind of alter his game, getting into the back nine of his career. He's got to work on the finer things of being a tight end. He's got to become a better blocker. He's got to try to become a better a better a pass defender as well. You know, in blocking, and not only
Yards
in
after
rushing,
catch
but
as well.
he's got exactly. You got to protect the quarterback. So, you know, he's got to be able to do. And you made a great example of Brent Selleck, because he's a prime example of that. Because when Ertz came in, he knew he wasn't going to be the number one guy anymore, and he worked his butt off to stay on the field. And he was a huge contributor in our running game. You know, in the Super Bowl year, he really was. He was opening holes for the Garrett Blunt and Jay Ajayi and the gang out on the outside. So definitely, you know, he's got to. And I just don't know if I see that in Ertz. If he, I'll be. I think he's just going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if he just plays out his contract and then, you know, chooses his destination next year, because he's going to be a free agent.
That's an option too. I think either way it goes, I think it's in Zach Ertz's best interest to exit on a good note,
Yeah,
because your legacy is on the line, man. Like you don't want to exit with, because I'm thinking, oh, in my mind, how I perceive it, the thoughts about Zach Ertz is he fought with Howie Roseman and he wants out.
yeah,
He wants to just leave. So for me, I don't know Zach Ertz to be that kind of player, right? I don't know him to be this ego guy. And so now we're sort of getting to know these players later on in their career. I just think he's still young, man. He's still young. I don't know why in society, we sort of say once you hit 30, it's all over. Like he's young, man.
yeah, yeah. I
Like
got
Jason Peters, he want guys are playing until their 40s, man. And I think if he can stay healthy, because I think health is a big thing for Zach Ertz. If he can stay healthy, I think he can add a ton of value to this football team and this offense. And he helped us win a Super Bowl, man. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So
He did. He did. He was a huge contributor that year and in the Super Bowl. So I agree with you, and you know, and I also agree with you on the fact that Goddard's not going to get some huge contract like some of these top tight ends. I mean, unless he absolutely sets the league on fire and is like the number one tight end in the league hands down this year, then yeah, more than likely he's not going to get a huge contract right off the gate, right off the bat. So the it's just going to be very very interesting to see how Howie Roseman handles the situation, because like you said, it hopefully it's a good thing that they were talking, because it usually that is. Anytime, because if they've we've obviously heard a lot of back and forth between the two of them, this off season. So for
mhm.
them to be communicating, I agree with you. I think definitely think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a,
and
that's a, it's a great thing.
yeah. So I wanted to touch on uh Big Play Slay's comment just a little bit ago. He said he was talking about the Jalen Rieger losing the close friend. He said you got to understand Jalen's struggle. Jalen's struggle. That's something hard to deal with, man. It really is, and I understand. I totally do, and I get it, because I have I've lost a close friend in high school. He was a guy that he was an ex gang member, and and he was trying to get through high school. I was helping him get through English, econ, things like that. And yeah, on prom night, he ended up get crossing the paths with some wrong people, and yeah, he ended up losing his life. So I
Wow.
definitely know, I definitely know what Jalen's going through. So, and it is tough. It definitely had a strong effect on me, and I can only imagine what he's going through. So definitely shout out to prayers to him and the victim's family for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's always tough, man. Yeah, so that definitely that's let me take that off here. So did you I know we talked about it a little bit pre-show, but what do you think about the signings of safety Obi Milanofu? And we also got, I think he's more probably just hopefully Milanofu could make this possibly contribute going forward because he was a second round pick a couple years ago. But we also got wide receiver Andre Patton. I don't know if you know a whole lot about him. I don't either. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Obi.
Yeah, I don't know a ton on Andre Patton. Definitely going to do some research on him
Yeah,
after this. But Obi is weird because he when obviously I play Madden and I've always picked him up on free agents because like even when he was his first or second year when he sort of had a weird stint with the Raiders. I just love this size, 6'4". His speed was like 93. He was, super strong and aggressive. I think it's pretty interesting that they moved him to safety because he came into the league as a cornerback. But I think he could potentially, I'm not going to say because I know sometimes, we like to hope, well, I like to hype up some players. Um, you know, I think Obi actually, I think he could really be a gem for the Philadelphia Eagles. I really do, because of his versatility, because of the skill set that he has. I think he could do some great things.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Vic. He said Goddard failed the test because he was caught off guard by Zach Ertz's blonde hair.
Yeah, so was I. So
Right.
was
What was your first thought? What was the first thing that popped into your head when you saw his hair like that? Who did you think
the
of?
first thing, literally the first thing that popped in my mind was "Hit me, baby, one more time." Da da da. Oh, baby, baby. How was I
Oh,
supposed to know? I thought he was
you
like a
remember?
backup dance for Britney Spears. But when guys get like 30 in the NFL, I've seen it with a lot of players. They do things to not feel young again, but sort of kind of get their macho back. So I think that was one of those things where him, he's just going through some things mentally, man. He had to switch it up.
I'm good, Jock Talk. Thank you for checking in. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. We appreciate it. Chopping it up here with my man Pablo Gary. If you guys haven't done so already, like the ticker says down below, make sure you go check out his channel. And the direct link to his channel is in the description to this live stream. So all you got to do is click on that. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you go like and sub his content. He's been doing some good stuff, and yeah, definitely go check it out. You won't be disappointed. So yeah, we got a couple of comments here I want to catch up on.
Nice.
What's going on? Oh, that's a new name. MKJ23 underscore productions. What's going on? How you doing? Thank you, my guy. I appreciate you joining
What's
the
going
live stream.
What's going
Yes,
on,
sir.
MK?
I'm here with my man Pablo Gary. We're chopping it up, doing some Eagles talk. We
Thanks
got
for joining.
yes, sir. Absolutely. We're not only live on YouTube right now, we're also live on Facebook. So yes, please come
Wow.
like it. We are live on both on both media platforms right now. So definitely, if you haven't done so already, as well, if you're on Facebook right now, please come over and like, share, and subscribe to the Nest Out West. I just recently crossed over that 1,000 subscriber mark, so that was a huge, huge, accomplishment. And yes, we are in that 1,000 club now.
Yes,
So,
sir.
oh yes,
Congrats,
very
bro.
proud of that. And yeah, come check out the merch we got going too. The wifey's been working really really hard on that, and we got some Keep It Fuego shirts going in her Mercari merch shop. So hit that link down below as well, and they'll take you right to the shop, and you guys can get some Keep It Fuego merch. And there's going to be a lot more coming. We got some mugs and stuff too. So definitely I'll keep you abreast on all that as well.
Nice.
But yeah,
I like how
appreciate
you
you.
say it, man. Keep it fuego.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool, man.
Fuego.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Big Three said Ertz has always been about protecting his body. As soon as he catches the ball, he goes down or runs out of bounds.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not. He's just not a huge. Not. He's not a huge yak guy, and I think he knows that. So I think Vic, has a point there, don't you think, Pablo?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not even a point; it's a fact. I think that's well known around the league. Well, you know what's so funny? I forget what team the Eagles were playing. I think it maybe had been maybe like the Giants or some whack team like that. And their cornerback, I could hear it on the TV was saying, "Hit Zerk, I think he was saying hit Ertz in his legs, hit Ertz in his legs. He doesn't like to run." And guys just know this around the NFL, like just hit him in the legs and he's done. So but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I definitely I think there's a good chance he's going to be traded before the season even starts because we all know that training camp and preseason there could be definitely some injuries that pop up on other teams, and some people could definitely come a calling for the services of one Zach Ertz. But yeah, shout out to the six in the live stream right now. Thank you guys so much. MKJ underscore productions, or I should say MKJ23 underscore production said, if Ertz stays healthy, he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Enough said. Okay. All right. I got to respect your opinion. So I, I, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but um, maybe if you said that to me a couple of years ago, I would definitely be right on board with you. But I think Zach Ertz maybe lost a step, and for him, he's never been super fast, and like we've been talking about, he's just not super great at running after the catch and things like that. So yeah, just getting older for him is going to work against him. But like you said, he's not super old yet, so I'm not saying Zach Ertz is washed up at all, guys. Don't take it the wrong way.
Yeah, definitely not. I kind of agree. But I think I'm going to highlight if Ertz stays healthy. I think that's the biggest thing with Zach Ertz. If he stays
Yeah,
healthy, he's definitely a top five, at least a top 10. I'll go top 10. I'll say top 10. He's definitely in the top 10 tight ends because one thing about Ertz, he can get hot with the
yeah,
right quarterback. He can get going for sure.
yeah. And I think that's maybe why he's kind of itching to go to get back with number two for the Colts. But it's funny. The reason why I laughed so hard too when you said, hit me baby one more time with the Britney Spears about his hair is because the first thing I thought of was Justin Timberlake from back in the day, like in sync. So that's what I thought of. Definitely
Bye
first when I
bye
seen that.
bye.
So
Bye bye.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So Jock Talk said I wanted Eagles to draft OB in the draft back then. I'm so happy now. That's cool. Yeah, that's somebody that I don't know a whole lot about, so I'm gonna have to kind of go research why he hasn't kind of made it in the NFL as a second round pick. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about him. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys because we just literally signed him today, so definitely gonna go do my homework on one Obi New Eagle.
Yeah, he definitely earned that too, man, because I think it was a tryout. He was a tryout, so he really did his thing.
Victory was Dave Spadero talking about Obi when he said he has a long way to go. Who is he talking about? Clear that up for me, Vic. What's going on, JC Eagles Talk? Shout out to you. Go check out his channel, guys. He's been doing a lot of good Eagles content out there. Go sub him up and tell him Foothill sent you.
Yeah, JC Eagles talk, man. Shout out to you, man. We still got to link up, brother. We still got to link up. That's my guy.
Yeah, he's got some fire in him. I like it. I love it.
Yeah,
He's definitely got that passion.
for sure.
Keep doing your thing, my man. Shout out to JC. MK Production said, LOL. Victory said, Earth's had the energy of, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, why would I? Why would you say I am?
Eminem.
Shout out to Vic. Good one, buddy. That's good. Slim Shady reference. Yeah. Why didn't I think of that? Damn it. Now I'm mad. JC Eagles Talk said, Earth's looked like he had a long off
Yeah,
season. LOL.
yeah, he does. He look like he has a lot on his mind, a lot on his head. No pun intended.
Right. Victory said Ertz and Barnett for Chandler Jones. Hey, that would solidify our
Ah,
linebacking core pretty strongly. How do you
It,
feel about Derek Barnett this year?
um,
He is making $10 million
yeah,
on a
I was
1 year
gonna,
deal.
I was gonna get straight to the money with Derek Barnett. I'm saying to myself, if Josh Sweat is producing at the same rate as Derek Barnett, trade him.
Exactly.
Honestly, I just feel like, I mean, he played well for us as a young man in the Super Bowl. Well, I'm not going to take that from Derek, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. It seems like this is my thing with Derek Barnett. With Derek Barnett, I feel like he needs like Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox kind of pressure in the middle to be effective. Like I need you to be effective whether I don't care who's in the middle. If Fletcher Cox goes down, if he gets injured, I need you to still get pressure. And to me, Josh Sweat, I I just think the Eagles could have used that $10 million elsewhere. We could have used that $10 million somewhere else.
Yeah. And speaking of defensive line money, we have a lot of money tied up in right now. And I don't know if you're aware, but Javon Hargrave is making more money than Fletcher Cox. He's we have like I think it's right around $70 million tied up between the two of them, and that's kind of scary. We need to address that sooner than later. I really really think we do because, like you said, Fletcher Cox isn't getting any younger, and Hargrave is he's making a lot of money for a guy that we traded for and we thought we were getting a really really high end player, but he just hasn't really shown that yet. So what do you think about that too?
I'm going to give Hargrave this season. I'm going to give him this season. I think um, because of the whole Doug Peterson era and everything that's coming out now, what that team last year was going through. I'm gonna give him one season because what I know about Javon Hargrave is when he came on towards the end of the season, he came on and he was effective and he, he balled out, right? So now I want to see him really, really take it to the next level. I'm looking for him to have a humongous season. I'm talking at least 8 sacks, between 8 to 10 sacks. That's what I want to see as a fan to sort of justify his contract. If he's a 3 sack guy, I'm moving on next year. I mean, that was another thing I was sort of thinking about. I'm saying, what's the plan here? Because you pay Derek Barnett his $10 million, and then you go draft 20 defensive ends this year in the draft. It's like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
So if you're pressing the restart button, just press it. Save money while you press. Don't
Yeah,
spend money and press the button. You know what I mean? Save that, put that $10 million somewhere else. So, or
agreed.
or if you, for me, right, I think because the Eagles have so much investment and because I'm so high on Josh Sweat, I I, I would take that money and just pay Zach Ertz. Because I'm Zach Ertz. Let me say this: the Philadelphia Eagles, and I want to get off of Zach Ertz, but the Philadelphia Eagles are better with Zach Ertz. I think there's this narrative out there or this thought that Dallas Goddard can just handle it all by himself. No, the Eagles were a great team when we do run 12 personnel, when we have a 2 tight end set, even 3. Because you think about it, Trey Burton, Dick, um, who do we have? We had Trey Burton, Brent Selleck, and Zach Ertz. So we had 3 capable tight ends. You know what I mean? So to think that you go from 3 capable tight ends during the Super Bowl run to just Dallas Goddard, that's not great general manager play right there.
Okay. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Definitely. And yeah, I mean, Ertz is still a very good possession receiver. It's he wants, you know, he wants top end money, and I just don't see a whole lot of teams giving him that. So I think he's got to kind of come to that reality that he's not going to get that definitely. But yeah, I did see. Shout out to JC Eagles talk. I did see Kelsey did leave practice early today. I guess it was some back and hip sort or tightness. So we'll definitely have to keep our eye on that. If it's definitely with backs, those can be very very tricky. So you have to be careful when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, so I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the first part though. I don't know if he's nothing but trade bait because, like Pablo said, he's still part of this team and he's still very capable tight end in this league. He may not be, in the top five or anything like that, but I think he's still very good. And gosh, I'd hate to see. And I've been saying this too. And even with all the issues that have been going on in Green Bay, if you put if you put Zach Ertz on that offense with Devontae Adams on the outside, look out. That would be something absolutely we don't want to see as another NFC team. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with him going to the FC if he leaves. Definitely, I want him out of the conference because, like I said, he's still going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I think he also helps Jalen Hurts' development, right? I think the tight end position is so key for quarterback development because they're really the closest target to the quarterback, right? Like your wide receivers are trying to, get those chunk yards, but that's why you have your Zach Ertz and your Dallas Goddard to get those 7, 8 kind of yards there. So I think this is my thing when it comes to Zach Ertz and why I think he's going to. I actually think this is where I think, and I made this may grow to be a bad statement, but I think he's going to finish his career in Philadelphia, and it's because we got to understand it's not like this is a money problem, and it's not like Howie Roseman didn't want to pay him just because he just didn't want to pay him. We were coming out of we were in the midst of a pandemic, right? We were in the midst of a pandemic, and when you look at how Howie Roseman has handled older players that have proven that they could still produce, i.e., Jason Peters, why would Howie Roseman keep Jason Peters, a player who he did not draft because we got him from Buffalo? Why would we keep him all the way until 40, but then just let Zach Ertz go at 30 when we drafted him? We drafted him. And so when you are going through a contract dispute with the team that drafted you, you're going to have you're going to have a longer leash, so to speak. And I believe that's what is being said in that picture. That's what's happening in that picture. Zach Ertz, you go on your timeout. Howie Roseman, you go on your timeout. Training camp. Let's talk about it. Let's get back to the get back and then and talk and hash things out like men. Now the Eagles have $40 million. I think Howie Roseman is going to make a play and say, okay, Zach, let's keep you here in Philly. Keep you here in Philly.
Interesting. Okay, I like it. It's and I definitely appreciate you being completely honest and candid with us on here because we that's what we look for when we have guests on the Nest Out West. Absolutely, we appreciate it, we respect it, and it's always good to have people with different insights and things like that. And that's another reason why I wanted to have you on too because you definitely seem like very knowledgeable about the things like that. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Yeah, I think Vic 3 said because we had no one to replace Jason Peters. I forget who the left tackle was at that time. Um, But I think that's sort of true, victory. But then again, you got to think about, okay, how does this statement add up to when the Eagles drafted Andre Dillard? They still re-signed him. You know what I mean? We had a first round pick, whether they felt like he was ready or not. They still re-signed him. So my point is saying that we could switch it up and talk about Brandon Graham. My point is. Howie Roseman he's not allergic to signing older players. Ask Brandon Graham. He said it himself early in his offseason. I didn't know if this was going to be my last season. Him and Derek Gunn last year, they had emotional chat after the last game because he thought it was his last game as a Philadelphia Eagle. And then what does Howie Roseman do? He says, "No, man, you're staying here in Philadelphia." So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you definitely. So I wanted to ask you another question too. So who I think definitely Anthony Harris is going to be starting at safety. But who now that we got Obi, Kavon Wallace is going into his second year as well. Who do you see? And because McLeod's going to be out, it looks like he's on the he's going to start the league year on the physical unable to perform list. So who do you
Mhm.
think is going to be filling in at safety for us to start the year?
Well, I think logically it has to be, Kavon Wallace. I think this is his second year in the league. He's 2 years away from, a new contract. So it benefits the Eagles to get him on the football field, see what he can do, see if he can add value in the back end of this defense. Kavon Wallace is a very interesting player. I think I'm excited to see, what he can do this year. I think for him, though, coming out of Clemson, because he was familiar with Brian Dawkins and had a relationship with Brian Dawkins, I think there was a lot of pressure for him to sort of, live up to the hype, so to speak. And I think he's a young player that has to sort of grow into who Kevon Wallace is. Um, but I think Jonathan Gannon is going to be the best coach to get it out of him. So I think he's in a good spot because sometimes it's not just is the player talented, right? It's about, okay, is the player talented, but is he also in the right system? Is it a good system fit? So for me, um, I try to even though Malcolm Jenkins is no longer here, I try to imagine if Kayvon Wallace could play that Malcolm Jenkins role, because I think that's going to be the blueprint for any safety that plays in our system, at least until there's like this wholesale change in our defense.
Gotcha.
Because we always sort of play with like a safety in the box and a safety that can cover as well. So we'll see. I think he has the opportunity, and I think that's all you can ask for as a young player. I think he is. I think he's mentally tough. I think he has the skills in his body to do what it needs to do. This is his shot. So we'll see if he can, like Howie Roseman, says about Jalen Hurts. We'll see if he can take the reins at the safety spot and go with it. This is his time in his career. If he wants to be the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles, we have given him the opportunity, and it's either now or never.
I got you. Yeah. So with that being said, and with the new offensive coordinator and the new defensive coordinator, obviously this year, who do
Mhm.
you who do you really see kind of being the more dominant side of the football this year for us? Being that are we going to be a more defensive dominant, or is Jalen Hurts going to step in with Devontae Smith and really hit the ground running?
You know what? I'm going to sort of echo what Philly Mike talked about in his live. He said that it can go either way, and that is a great thing. I am feeling that. I don't feel like um the offense. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to be competitive on both sides of the football. Because number one, I believe wholeheartedly in Jalen Hurts. I believe in his leadership. I believe in his mental, and I believe in how guys respond to him. You know what I mean? Defensively, you know, I think we're in a sweet spot because, again, Fletcher Cox is not getting any younger. He understands that. He knows that. Ryan Kerrigan, guys like that, these guys are trying to get back to the Super Bowl. So our defensive line is stacked. Linebackers, we gotta see. I like Davion Taylor and those guys. I believe that the Eagles secondary is going to show up to the dance. I believe they're going to show up to the prom and they're going to do some things. And so I think this year there's some balance. And so I remember when we fired Doug Peterson, it's like, oh my God, how could you fire a Super Bowl, winning coach? And it's like, Doug Peterson, there was no balance because if you are playing what's the guy's name? I forget his name already. Alshon Jeffrey, when you know that Jalen Rager should be getting more reps. There's no balance. So
Or
now
Travis
you're
Fulgham?
right. Travis
Yeah,
Fulgham, so now you are playing you're playing favorites because of the veterans. There's no balance. The younger guys, the development of our younger players, it was a waste of a season because Doug Peterson said, "Hey, we'll get to you. We'll call your ticket when we get to you." You know what I mean? So, but with Nick Sirianni, there's balance all of a sudden. There's balance, and you see it. There's balance with Howie. He's not overstepping anybody. Coach Sirianni, there's balance with him and his coaching staff, and there's balance now in the with the quarterback situation. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are a team of balance now, and when you can balance yourself, you can walk. You can walk now. So
Very good analogy.
I think both sides of the ball are going to do great. The Eagles are going to surprise a lot of teams, and I know a lot of people are saying that, but I really believe this. I really believe this.
Yeah, and a big key factor to that, and I think by now I have a good inkling. I'm a pretty good reader of people. I think Nick Sirianni is no dummy, and he knows where to lean on and where do we have the most experience in our coaching staff, the offensive line coach, right? He's going to lean heavily on Coach Stoutland's advice
Mm-hmm.
on getting us getting off the ball, becoming a very very like you said balanced football team, making sure that we establish the run early and often. And when you do that, it's going to, like you said, not only going to be able to walk, but you're going to be able to run because that's going to take so much pressure off of Jalen Hurts. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
make us just a smooth running machine when it comes to our offense. And if this offensive line stays healthy, and gosh, knock on wood, because Brandon Brooks did have a little bit of, I guess, hamstring strain today in practice, but it's nothing too major. That, yeah, I mean, let's just hope they all stay healthy this year, but they're going to be opening some absolutely huge holes. I have a feeling for Miles Sanders and company to run through. You know, I really, really do.
Yeah, and honestly, the
Jeff Stoutland's the best offensive line coach in this league, dog.
yeah,
I mean,
he
hands down.
he really is, and because I mean, let's really talk about that a little bit,
Yeah,
because you talk about Jeff Stoutland was able to get a player. Now, let's remember this: the Philadelphia Eagles drafted Andre Dillard in the first round. The Eagles drafted Jordan Mailata in the seventh round. You're telling me that Jeff Stoutland was able to get a seventh round player to compete for a starting spot in just a year and a half? Somebody who never played football.
exactly.
Rugby was his football, so that's the value. Now value is talking to you. That's the value of a coach, right? And so that's what I'm saying. And but I love it because now his value as a coach, what does it do? It creates depth on the team, right? So if Brandon Brooks does go out, I can see Jordan Mailata playing right guard. I can see Isaac Senyuala. I can see Andre Dillard. I can see the rookie Landon Dickerson. The Eagles, I mean, again, knock on wood. I have marble here, but we'll pretend it's wood.
I'll
Um,
do it for you.
right.
I
Thanks,
got
man.
you.
Right.
Yeah,
So if Brandon goes down, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really hurting like that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because I got a second round beast, and I'm extremely high on Landon Dickerson, man, because he could have easily been a first round pick. You put Landon Dickerson, Alabama guy, and just watch Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, and Landon Dickerson. Watch how they talk. Watch how they're wired. Those Alabama guys. They come to ball, man, and they want to be coached hard. They want to be coached correct. They're all about accountability. And I think now that this Eagles team has found balance, now that we have accountability, I think success is the next thing that we're going to sort of walk into, because when you have accountability, now people can go up to Jalen Hurts and sort of check Jalen Hurts. You couldn't do that with Carson Wentz, but it is what it is.
Exactly. Victory said Coach Stoutland is the team's true MVP. Yeah, I was so happy when Stout was retained and when Sirianni made the decision. And I mean, he made the decision not to go to Alabama. So I was very happy for Stoutland to stay because that was definitely going to be a big worry for me, with this offensive line.
But you know why I believe he didn't go?
Why?
I think it's because of Landon Dickerson.
You think so?
I think so, man. I'm telling you, man.
He's
Landon
excited about this
Dickerson,
kid, huh?
I'm excited about Landon Dickerson. This kid could have been a first round pick. He said, "Oh, whoa, no, wait a minute. I got intel. Howie and Nick Sirianni just told me that we want to go ahead and see about Landon Dickerson. We're going to take the kid if he's there. I want to stay in Philly and see what I can do with him."
Yeah, I mean that definitely could be true. I definitely wouldn't doubt that at all because, like you said, Dickerson should have been a first round pick if he didn't get if didn't get hurt multiple times, especially in college. But yeah, if this kid can stay on the field, he's going to be an absolute great player for us going forward. And yeah, he's a monster out there. And don't sleep on guys like Nate Herbig and Jack Driscoll
Facts,
because
facts,
that could be
facts,
our future right side right there. I mean,
facts.
Stoutland's already made them look very very good in a short amount of time as well. Those guys came into the league and did pretty damn good for rookies. So
I want
yeah,
to
we got
say
pieces
this.
already.
I want to say this. If Nick Sirianni lays a bomb, give me Stoutland as the head coach.
Ooh,
I
I
just
like
said that.
that.
I
Hey,
just said that.
that's not too far out of the realm for me because as he's definitely has a lot of coaching experience and he's very very good with the media and things like that. So yeah, he has a lot of the intangibles that you want in a head coach, and especially being an offensive line coach. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all,
For
not at
sure.
all. Because I mean, what was Andy Reid wasn't an offensive line coach, but he was a tight end coach, so
Mhm,
that's pretty close too. So
mhm.
and yeah, Stoutland's one of the best, man. Absolutely. Vic Three said, "Look at what he did with Jordan Mailata. That alone is an outstanding accomplishment." Yeah, with
Absolutely.
Mailata coming from rugby and not playing high school or even college football, 100%. Yes.
Crazy town.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm so excited about Jordan Mailata. I'm a big fan of his, and I don't see a way in hell that Dillard is taking his position, this year. So
Mhm.
I wanted to get your opinion on that as well about Andre Dillard because
Yeah.
we definitely have that could be an issue coming up because he's a first round pick. So what do you think?
Um. Shout out to Richie MC, man.
Oh, look here, you moonlight today. Usually, I know. I was like, oh man, I didn't get Pablo in his real swag, his real swag studio. It's okay though. I really appreciate you being with me today.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. But when it comes to uh
Mochi Robinson's in the house. What's going on, Mooch?
my guy
Shout out to
Moochie,
you.
we were just talking about Moochie, weren't we?
Yes,
Um,
sir. Yes,
and,
sir.
and Moochie and
Shout
I
out
have
to
talked
you.
about Moochie and I have talked about this online as well. Um, you know, that's going to be a great camp battle. That's going to be a great camp battle. But I think that what the Eagles are doing now is smart to start Jordan Mailata. I mean Andre Dillard because he is a former first round pick. You need to know what you're going to get out of him this camp. Like this is it for Andre Dillard, in my opinion. I believe that Andre Dillard, this is going to be it for him in Philadelphia. So he's it's either you win it convincingly, and it can't be a if the Eagles are teetering, he's done. He has to show up to the dance. Got to show up to the dance.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And he's shown so far that he's only really a one trick pony. He can only really play one position on the offensive line. So that makes you to me in my eyes that makes you more expendable. Because if they can't move you around like they can, like let's say next year that we still have Isaac Samalu, Kelsey retires, we still have some of the pieces that we have right now.
Hmm.
But let's say Salomalu is more comfortable with playing center as opposed to playing, left guard. Then Dickerson can easily slide over to guard because he can play every position on the offensive line. This kid, like you said, is an absolute beast. And if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a very, very good offensive line for us for a long, long time to come.
Yeah, I think this. I think the fans of Philadelphia, we should really be excited about the depth in this offensive line. Um, And at first I wasn't really a believer of having guys play multiple spots just because I thought, you kind of, so you got to get young guys in, to the league and get them sort of settled down, right? But when you see how guys are, switching in and out and, are really adding value to this team. You could take Isaac, you could put in the left guard, right tackle, right guard, center. You could take Landon Dickerson, center, right guard, right tackle, left tackle. It really, really provides a lot of depth. So, man, I think the Eagles are in a great spot, man. We're in a great spot. And I think that's something really when we are successful is because our O line is healthy, and when we have depth. I think, the last few years, we were trying to see what Jordan Mailata is. We were trying to see what Andre Dillard is. Now these guys are peaking. And when guys are peaking, wins are going to come up. So, I'm excited, man.
I am too. So, and I want to ask you and everybody in the chat right now. It's 5 people in the live stream. So shout out to the 5, definitely. Thank you guys so much for being with us.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
appreciate it. I'm on here. Your guy Philly Foothills on the Nest Out West is chopping it up with Pablo Gary. It's been very good time with you. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I mean everybody in the chat and you, my friend. What do you think on a scale like 1 to 10 that Dillard is traded before the trade deadline this year? 10 being the most likely.
Uh, Man, I think it's such a tough question because it's so early. I can say this. I watched a video of Andre Dillard. I think it was David Spadero, sort of just kind of picking his brain, seeing where he's at, just seeing far as physically and mentally. And one thing that I can say that I sort of notated watching that video was he understood that he had to get better, and he understood, like, he's not afraid of competition. Like, coming into the league, he openly admitted, say, "Listen, man, I was young, I wasn't ready. The Eagles, this thing was just too big for me. But now I've settled in. I've got my health back up under me, and I'm ready to go." So when you have a guy who is not running from competition, who is ready to compete, that's great. And I think his exact words were, "I'm not running from competition." And those are the guys that you want to have. So I'm glad that, he possesses that sort of mentality where he's not just going to give up. He even said it, just because I'm a first round pick, that doesn't mean I don't have to compete. You know what I mean? So I think, scale to 1 to 10, if I had to give something, I have to put him in the middle of the road. I'm gonna give him a 5. Um, but I think Jeff Stoutland is so good to where, even if he doesn't pan out at the left tackle spot, you can't convince me that he can't play left guard or right guard. You can't talk about how great Stoutland is and then trade this first round pick. Well, hey, Stoutland, what else can we do with this first round pick? Let's marry the two, because it doesn't make sense now. How can Jeff Stoutland get the most out of Jordan Mailata, who never played football, who never knew what the color of a football was, but now we just want to go ahead and throw away Andre Dillard? If he doesn't win, great. It's great for the Philadelphia Eagles, because why? We now know that Jordan Mailata is the real deal. But I don't think that's the end of the tunnel for Andre Dillard. I think he could be a great swing tackle. I think left guard or right guard. You just said how Brandon Brooks went down. Man, what if it was Jordan Mailata, um, Lander Dickerson, Jason Kelsey? Let's say Brandon Brooks goes down and you throw Andre Dillard there right side with Lane Johnson. I'm okay with switching that up a little bit. So, we'll see what he does. I guess I said all that to say he has the mentality that you need to win the spot.
Okay. Yeah, he just hasn't shown us the ability to play multiple positions on the offensive line yet. But yeah, I mean, we do have Coach Stoutland, so we'll see. We'll definitely see how it pans out. But the uh the thing about Dillard is how often have we seen Howie Roseman let first round picks come off the bench? Not too often. So that just doesn't really play into the usual Howie thinking. But I mean, hell, he had an outstanding draft this year. So
I,
maybe he's trending in a different direction. We got to kind of see where this goes. But how are your thoughts about him going forward with this many possible draft picks to have next year?
I made a video on this. I think Howie Roseman, he has to be careful. because I don't know the last time the Philadelphia Eagles had 3 first round picks, right? Like these are 3 golden bars, gold bars that we have in our possession, potentially if Carson Wentz tells the world that he's vaccinated and goes on to be 11-5 or 11-12-5. But um, you know, for me, I just don't want Howie to get too ahead of himself. If he stays the course, I think we're going to be fine. Um, but if he lets the mainstream media get to his head, and tries to call up Houston and say, "Hey, what would it take?" I think we're going to get ourselves in trouble. I think we need to continue to build. If I am Howie Roseman, can I give you my spiel of what I would do if I was Howie Roseman?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
If I'm Howie Roseman, what I would do, we all know that the Green Bay Packers, this is going to be their last run, right? They got Randall Cobb. They're trying to bring all the family back because uh, I think Aaron Rodgers' new deal is only for 1 year. So they're going to be done after this year. For me, we have 2 Jalen's on the team, Jalen Rager and Jalen Hurts. How about we add another starter by the name of Devontae? So now we have 2 Jalen's and 2 Devontaes. Man, wouldn't it be great if we could have Devontae Smith and Devontae Adams? Right, $40 million. So now what you do, you take advantage of Jalen Hurts' contract because I think that would be his 3rd year. So get Devontae Adams in there. You got Dallas Goddard, you got Devontae Smith, you got Miles Sanders, you got Zach Ertz, you got it's just so Kenny Gainwell, so many younger guys. You got that beast offensive line. But what I would do with the defense is offensively, I would go and get Devontae Adams. And guess what? Devontae Adams, you don't have to trade for him. All that is money. So you can add Devontae Adams in the top wide receiver in next year, right? But defensively, I think a lot of people don't really talk about this, but defensively, Darius Slay is 30 years old. He's not getting any younger. Steven Nelson, who we just signed, I'm a fan of him, but he's 28 years old. And let's just call it what it is. He's a great sign, but he's a 1-year rental, right? He's a rent-a-car for this year. That's all he is, right? And so the Eagles cornerback situation, it's stable now. We have a heartbeat now, but I don't know what it's going to look like in a year or two. So
Right.
what I want to do is I want to stay in Wisconsin. I want to stay with the Green Bay Packers and see if the Philadelphia Eagles can bring home a Philadelphia native and someone who I believe is the best cornerback in the league, Jair Alexander. He's coming up on a big contract, and that's a name that I want all Eagles fans to remember. Jair Alexander. He is the Packers' best cornerback. I believe he is one of the best cornerbacks. I'm not going to disrespect Jalen Ramsey like that, but one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Those 2 guys are some guys that I would try to target with my money. Imagine if the Eagles brought in Devontae Adams, brought in Jair Alexander, and then they went into the draft and they signed Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. So now you give Jalen Hurts a true number 1 wide receiver with Devontae Smith, a running game, a great offensive line, and defense. Right. So now Fletcher Cox is not getting any younger. So what do you need? You need to give him more time. How do you give Fletcher Cox more time? You get better cornerbacks. You get locked down cornerbacks. And guess what? That 1 second turns into 3 second, which turns into 10 plus sacks for Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave.
Hey, can't argue with that too much, man, friend. That's very well said.
At least in my world.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how either Howie or a new GM handles having that many 1st-round draft picks. If we do end up with 3, which knock on wood again, hopefully we do, and just how we start to use some of this draft capital that we have and the cap space that we're going to have going into next year. So yeah, I would love to meet, and shout out to Birdman _951, because me and him are recently on the phone talking about that exact same scenario of having double Dantes.
Yeah, Birdman's my guy.
Yeah. So shout out to him. Definitely, he's holding it down out here on the West Coast, down there in the high desert, out here in Cali. But yeah, he's we were talking about that having double Devontaes, and if Jalen Rieger starts to pan out, we could have double Jalen's too. So we'd have double D's, double J's, and that sounds like a good combination to me.
Yes, sir.
So
Yep.
is there any specific position battles that you're going to be looking at closely? I know we've talked about a lot of them so far, like with the left tackle, something like that. But any of the ones closely that you're going to be watching personally?
That's a great question. Um, Wow. Well, yeah, it is actually. So now that the Philadelphia Eagles have signed Steven Nelson, it's looking like it's gonna be Slade cornerback one, Steven Nelson cornerback two. I know there's been a lot of chatter about how the Eagles are really high on Zach McPherson out of Texas Tech, who we just recently drafted, one of our rookies. I'm excited to see the nickelback competition between Zach McPherson and Avante Maddox. If Zach McPherson can beat out Avante, that would be crazy. It would really tell us his value. But I think even having Zach McPherson as a fourth quarter cornerback is a great sign for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's a camp battle that I'm very interested in watching, because it's going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are leaning towards Avante Maddox, probably more based on his overall playing experience in the NFL, and I can
Mhm.
understand that. But yeah, if they're preaching true competition, then I think there's a good chance he could lose that position to not only Zach but also Josiah Scott, because Josiah Scott
I
has experience
forgot about him.
playing in the nickel. So yeah, we got him, and he actually he had an interception against Jalen Hurts today in practice. I think
Did he?
Jalen, yeah, he left one over the middle, and I think Josiah picked it off. So he's already showing some things in camp. So yes, he had
Forgot about Josiah.
yes. So look out for it. Keep an eye out for that name. Definitely Eagles fans, because he could easily be our starting nickel cornerback come week one, in my opinion, for sure. Yeah. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
I'm definitely going to be having my eyes on and I was happy to see Josh Sweat getting some number one reps with the defense
That's
over Derek
earned,
Barnett, because
very
he
earned.
deserves it.
Hmm.
Absolutely, and he's my pick to lead the team in sacks. I'm very optimistic about this kid, and he's got the size, he's got the speed for the outside, and I think he's going to do some really good things in this defense under Coach Rocker and Jonathan Gannon. So, yeah,
I
Josh
like
Sweat.
Coach Rocker.
Me too.
It's something about Coach Rocker. I love. If you guys
He's
have
got a lot
not,
of experience.
yeah, I like Coach Rocker.
Yeah, me too. And I think his experience, and that's another good thing to have when you have a lot of, and I don't care if it's college, NFL, the defensive lines and the offensive lines in college and football are very similar. They so when you have a lot of experience when it comes to coaching on both sides, we all know that games are won and lost in the trenches, and I know that's an old saying, but it's very true, because when you're able to dominate in the inside, a lot of the times you come out victorious more than likely. And I love that Nick Sirianni's preaching that, because that's going to be very good for us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and also the linebacker coach, Nick Rawlis. He's going to bring that fire this year. I really do think so, because he's got that in his it's in his DNA. I don't know if you know this, but his brother is a WWE wrestler.
Wow,
His brother's in the WWE, so
I did
I could
not
see
know
Nick
that.
Wallace being on the sideline when the linebackers make a big play, or even if it's a linebacker on special teams, he's going to be jumping up and down. He's got that. I think he's got that fire. He's really young. He's younger than Alex Singleton, so it's going to be interesting to see how he meshes with these players. Some of these younger guys and some of these vets. We brought in Eric Wilson. I'm excited about that. I know it's only on a 1 year deal, but
Yeah,
hey, a lot of these guys are coming here. Anthony Harris, Eric Wilson, Ryan Kerrigan. They're all coming here on these 1 year deals, and where they could have went somewhere else. Why? Because they believe in Jonathan Gannon. They like the system, and they're ready to get it done. They're ready to
yeah,
work for the coach.
yeah. Anthony Harris and Eric, they played in Jonathan Gannon's defense, and you know, why
Minnesota.
not? The
Really.
Eagles, we had a bunch of vacant spots open. You come here, you pretty much get a starting spot, and it's a prove it deal. The Eagles are going to have $40 million, north of $40 million next year. It just makes sense. Bet on yourself, have a great season, and cash out. You know what I mean? And I think Anthony Harris is going to be somebody that the Eagles are going to really appreciate. I don't think we ever had that. Um, like Anthony Harris to me brings that Asante Samuel effect from cornerback to safety, where you just knew an interception, a turnover could happen. I believe that Anthony Harris, he's someone that we shouldn't overlook because I believe that he is going to be a turnover machine for us because his tape, that's all he does. That's all he does. He's a turnover machine.
Yeah. And let's see here. MKJ23 underscore production said if we draft cornerbacks next year, or if we draft a cornerback next year, I hope it's Derek Singleton or Stingley Jr.
Yep.
So what do you know about him, Pablo?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier, man. I'm
Yeah.
saying he is as close. So you know that Patrick Peterson and the Honey Badger, those guys, they pretty much signed off on this kid, right? As a freshman. This
Okay.
kid is legit. He's so good. They're considering having him play uh offense and defense. Um I don't want to take it there, but I want to say he is as close to Deion Sanders in this time as I think I've seen a cornerback. When I'm talking about shut down, when I'm talking about like not afraid to bump and run and get in your face. He does it all. You know what I mean? So if the Eagles can land Derek Stingley Jr. and sign because Jair Alexander is coming up on his big contract, and I don't see him staying at Green Bay. He wants to win. He wants to compete. Aaron Rodgers, this is his last year. Devontae Adams, all of those guys are going to leave. I don't know if he wants to waste his youth behind Jordan Love, right? So why not come back home to Philadelphia? Why not, get a big payday in Philly, become our, shutdown cornerback, and we go from there.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. And Vic 3 said, I wonder, do any of you feel like Josiah Scott will make this team?
He
Hey,
has
I,
to.
I said I touched on him a little while ago. I think he has a good chance because he has a lot of experience and a little bit some pretty good success at playing in the inside at the nickel corner position, and he can handle it on the inside. So, yeah, I think he's going to give Avante Maddox a run for his money at that
No, I
spot.
don't. Not to cut you off, I don't even think it's Avante Maddox. Avante Maddox is safe. Zeke McPherson is safe. Josiah Scott's going to make his team. He's going to take Marquette. What's the Jared Marquette, the guy
Oh
that
yeah,
got torched by the Cowboys? He's out of
Mike
here.
Paquette. You think so?
Yeah,
You ready to close the book on him?
come on,
Okay.
man. I,
You don't
I
think he was
mean,
just a product of the system that he was in?
no, Howie Roseman, even in his conference, said we signed cornerbacks off the street. Like, come on, like you're the guy. Howie said I signed them from Walmart. I took them from Giant and I put some shoulder pads on them. Come on, man. I mean,
Yeah, I got
Josiah
you.
Scott he has more upside, and you got to think Marquette. I think he's like 28 years old. He's no he's no young buck.
Yeah. Shout out to Philly Girl underscore 76. She said Drew's dropping some love, long drive home. Have a great stream. Thank you.
Shout
Please
out
be
to you,
safe.
Philly Girl 76.
Don't be texting and driving. Definitely be safe. So MKJ23 underscore production said Harris and Wilson are going to ball out this year.
That's a
Yeah, I
fact.
think so too. I really do. They are on. I mean, if they're going to be working really hard because they both want to get paid again. They're both not done. I think they feel like they still have a lot left in the tank, and yeah, I'm excited to see both of them out on the field for us this year. No doubt. Big Three said that's high praise to be compared to Dion.
Yeah, I know. It's very high praise, But when a future Hall of Famer and Patrick Peterson praises him, when you got the Honey Badger praising him, I mean, this kid, you know, you only can wear the number 7 at LSU when you are an absolute baller, right? And this
Yeah.
kid is wearing number 7 his sophomore year. I also like to point out this too. Again, you only can wear the number 7 at LSU when you're looked at as a top leader or player on that defense. The Philadelphia Eagles selected Jacoby, right? Jacoby Stevens from LSU. A lot of people don't remember, but he wore number 7, and we got him from the 6-7 round. So
Hmm.
to get somebody that late who meant that much to that team and that defense was a hell of a find by
I
Howie Roseman
agree.
and his staff.
I agree. And I've been hearing not only the great things that he did on the field, but I'm hearing a lot of really, really good things about him off the field as well. So
Social activism, all of that.
yes,
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about Jacoby Stevens for this football team, and that's going to be interesting too because we have him listed as a linebacker. So I mean, what do you think about that? That's going to be, I think he's going to be more of that hybrid piece. You know, we're going to be moving him around. He might play a little safety. He's going to play
Yeah.
a linebacker. So
Yeah.
I definitely think he's making this team though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think, number one, because it's leadership. I mean, this kid is, there's nothing. I mean, this kid is he's everything that the Eagles want in terms of leadership. Obviously, he just needs to get the experience. He's versatile, to have this is not a situation, because I know even looking at it, I'm like, oh God, another safety playing linebacker. Is this going to be another Nate Gary situation?
Oh
No,
God.
no, no, this is not another Nate Gary situation. He attended LSU. I think Nate Gary went to Nebraska or Wisconsin somewhere. LSU is a big, we all know about LSU. So, I think he's gonna be in that Malcolm Jenkins role. I think when they saw Jacoby, they saw leadership skills, they saw a little glimpse of Malcolm Jenkins. And if you can get 25% of who Malcolm Jenkins is in the 7th round at 21 years old, and you can develop him 7 years, 4 years, man, that's a bet anybody would take.
Yeah. And I agree with you 100%. And I think that
Sure.
he was I really think he's gonna turn out to be the absolute steal in this draft for us. You know, even if Dickerson does pan out as a second round pick, yeah, I know, like you said, and I agree with you. He would have easily been a first round pick, but if Jacoby Stevens is gonna pan out to where I think we both think he's gonna pan out, yeah, he's gonna be a hell of a draft pick.
But
It-
that's how
it-
you know the Eagles had a great draft, because we're saying Landy can be a steal. Devontae
Gainwell.
Smith, Devontae Smith arguably was a steal because he what awards he went to, he won the best college athlete award. Like, period. It
It's
doesn't
only the
matter.
only the third receiver to do that in the
Only
history of college football. I mean,
he's the best college athlete, player, and we got him where we got him. A lot of people seem to think, and I'm one of those people that think Kenny Gainwell is a steal. Jacoby Stevens is a steal. I also think the defensive tackle out of USC, he's a steal. I also think Milton Williams is a steal. Milton Williams can be a
yeah,
steal
yeah,
because Fletcher Cox, listen, Fletcher Cox does not give high praise easily. He typically says we'll just have to see what he doesn't start commenting on guys until the 4th game in preseason. He has already said that Milton Williams can come in and contribute. That's high praise.
yeah,
Milton Williams is he's the same size as Fletcher Cox.
yeah.
So that's how I know the Eagles had a great draft, because a lot of these guys, they should have went higher.
And it sounds like Milton's got some versatility too. You know, it sounds like they've been giving him some reps at defensive end as well
Yeah,
because
he can play all up and down the line.
he's he's very physically gifted. So yeah, I'm excited about him. And we know you talked about Gainwell a little bit, but we do have a pretty crowded running back room. So how many running backs do you think we're going to keep? Because keep in mind too that this is going to be a whole new era in the NFL. This is a 17 game season. So I really
Yeah.
do, even though they haven't announced it yet officially, I think they're going to add on some bodies to these rosters, it's probably going to be anywhere from 55 to 60, probably at the max, depending on how they what the NFL thinks is proper. But I mean, with the running backs that we have, obviously Miles is making this team, but who do you think's going to be our running backs, and how many do you think we're going to keep?
Uh, I think let me just say this. Boston Scott has been a great player for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is really stepped up.
Is
Um,
he in the bubble though?
I think he's on the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Boston Scott, we've already seen his ceiling. We know what he can do. We know what his ceiling is. For me, because Doug Peterson was allergic to playing younger guys, I want to see what Adrian Killins can do. Instead of Devontae Smith sitting back there taking punts, can we put Adrian Killins back there? Can we
Thank
see what he can do in the punt return game? Can we stop putting it's like that era when we just kept seeing Corey Clement playing kick return. What are we doing? Like
right.
this kid is not. He's slow. Like get him from back there. So for me, I'm gonna go Miles Sanders. I'm gonna go Kenny Gainwell. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Andre Killins, and I'm gonna go uh, Jordan Howard. I think. I think. I think. I just don't see the need for. What hurt Boston Scott was the Kenny Gainwell pick because of his ability to play slot, running back, do it all. Like trying to use Boston Scott as like this Jerome Bettis kind of piece, and he's 5'3", doesn't make sense. I think he is a Doug Peterson guy, and I think his course is over.
I got you. And so that's interesting. But so you left out a name of somebody that people.
Holyfield.
No, you left out Carry On Johnson.
I forgot about
I
Carry On
figured, I
Johnson.
figured you did. I
I
figured you
forgot.
did.
Totally forgot about Carry On Johnson. Carry On Johnson is going to make this roster. So we'll just take out. We'll just put Jordan Howard on the practice squad. So I got Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, and Holyfield on the practice squad.
Okay. Okay.
If you don't like that, switch it out. Switch Jordan out for Adrian Killins. But then I need you to tell me who's going to play kick return.
Right.
You may say Quez Walker or John Hightower. Now you're messing with our wide receiver depth. No, just give me a body like Adrian. We need to see what he can do with the ball in his hands.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, and I would definitely wouldn't mind seeing Adrian on kick return, and possibly punt return too. I would like to for the special teams guy, the new guy. I think he most recently coached for San Francisco, but I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table as well. Because when you have a good, solid special teams unit, that can make a world of difference in the NFL. But I would like to see possibly Quez get some reps at punt return, because
Absolutely.
if you can get give an explosive player like that more opportunities to just get the ball in his hands and let him show us all what he can do. And I think that could be a really, really good thing.
I think we'll see that too. I actually think we'll see that. I think we'll
Yeah,
see Quez Watkins fielding some punts and actually getting some reps back there.
yeah. So if we do end up keeping 5 running backs on this team, for me it's going to be Miles, Carry On Johnson. I'll give you Gainwell. Obviously, he's gonna make the team. I think, because I think Sirianni really really covets those running backs that can catch very well out of the backfield, and we all know that he's a converted wide receiver. So this kid, that's his forte. I mean, hell, we might even see Gainwell lined up in the slot or out wide at some points this year, because this kid can absolutely tote it, catch the rock very very well. So yes, I think it's gonna be those three, and then so if it's four, my fourth would probably be it's gonna be definitely somebody who can fill in on special teams. So yeah, probably Killins. I think he's got a decent shot because he's very very fast, and if he can hold on to that ball and not put it on the ground, then yeah, I think and stay healthy, he's gonna be good to go. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
like your
I'm
list.
excited about him. He's got track star speed, definitely.
Absolutely. I like your list, man. Yeah, I think we have to. I mean, I think that is one of the biggest reasons why Jeff Lurie, Mr. Lurie wanted to move on from Doug Peterson is because we were not seeing enough of our investments. Why am I putting these guys on rookie deals and Doug, you're not playing them? Why am I signing? Why did we draft Jalen Rager and you only gave him 80 snaps? What do we got going on here? And so, I just think Adrian Killins is somebody the fans deserve to see in game action and see what he can do for this franchise.
I got you. Yeah, and I think his speed is definitely gonna help him make this roster because he's probably, if not the fastest guy on the team, he's probably second at least because like I said, he's got absolutely burners when it comes to when he turns on those jets. He's gone definitely in the open field.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let me catch up on. I don't know how much longer you got, but I know we've been on for like an hour and 45 minutes now. I appreciate your
Yeah.
time and being on with me tonight on the Nest Out West. I know it's probably getting a little late where you're at. I know you're out you're on the way
The
in the
East. Yeah.
DMV, right?
Yes, sir. It's 8:15 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little bit more time. Yeah, we could
Cool.
maybe wrap it up at 2 hours.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me catch up on some of these comments real quick here. I lost my place. Give me 1 second.
No problem. While you're doing that, I want to shout out Bird Gang 31 and MKJ 23 underscore productions for following the channel. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys. We definitely thank you for subbing up my man here, Pablo Gary. We appreciate it. Definitely watch some of his content. Get some of those good videos in. You'll definitely enjoy it. Let's see where's that. Okay, so Vic 3 said if Stevens is as good as he's talked about and Wallace can show out, we have our safety tandem for years to come. That's possible. Yeah, I mean, technically, Vic, we don't have Stevens listed as a safety right now. He's a linebacker, but I can see what you're saying. I mean, I think we definitely if Jacoby is more comfortable playing linebacker and that pans out for him, then I definitely think we need to, being that Anthony Harris is only on a 1 year deal, I definitely think we need to address the safety position in the upcoming draft. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, depending on how Anthony Harris plays, I really like Anthony Harris. Again, I'll reiterate that.
You
I
too,
wouldn't
and I can
mind
see us
signing him.
signing him. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I would. I mean, he's only 28. I mean, listen, man, Malcolm Jenkins. I think, and what's his let me see. Anthony Harris has been super durable. Super durable. So if you can get Anthony Harris between 28 to 34, 35, kind of like Malcolm Jenkins, I would do it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And Vic three he makes a good point too because I think this kid broke sack records at the school that he went to, Ron
Coastal
Jackson.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, even though it's a small school, it's still that's impressive. And yeah, we'll see what he can do at the next level. We got some good. We definitely it's on paper without a doubt. It's Howie's best draft, hands down.
Absolutely.
I don't think I haven't heard anybody arguing that at all.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, shout out to you. Thank you, MK, for subbing up my man here. He said some people are comparing Milton Williams to Aaron Donald. Whoa, that's we need to pump the brakes on that one real quick.
Shit, pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes. I mean, that's exactly. Pull that brake lever. Yes, sir. That's a huge comparison. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far this early.
No, but I understand it because I'm comparing Derek Stingley to Deion Sanders, so I need to pump the brakes there. Pump the brakes.
Richie MC said, "Turn on your TV onto the NBA draft and check out the on Rose's suit. I want to rock that style, fashion forward football or foothills with your head covered and that suit. You would for sure be keeping it fuego." Absolutely. See, Williams was tested at the draft, and the results were equal to really,
Yeah, I saw that. That's a fact. I saw that.
really.
Yeah. Nah, he not on paper, like you said, Milton Williams, he shows up, man. He really shows up. I think he
I did not know
bench
that
yeah, I think he
about the
bench
draft
pressed
result.
like 550, 600 pounds. This kid is crazy.
It's gonna
Freakishness.
be that's gonna be awesome though. So if he can get anywhere close to AD, then that's gonna be that's gonna be amazing draft, amazing steal. All right, let's see here. MK Production said Gainwell is also a great blocker. Look at what he did to Michael Parsons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he flatlined Micah Parsons.
yeah,
And I'm sitting there saying a third round running back did that to a first round pick.
yeah.
Great value.
And
Great
that's another
value.
reason. That's another reason why I think that Kerryon Johnson has a really good chance of making it the number 2 running back spot because he is very, very good in pass protection at the running back spot. So
He is.
that's very valuable in the NFL, and especially when you have a young quarterback. Because when you guys, when we have extra guys that can protect him, it's only going to benefit him that much more.
Well, that just tells you the intel and intelligence of Nick Sirianni and dare I say Howie Roseman, because
Shout.
if you know that your O line has been struggling for the past years, the best way to help your quarterback is to find running backs who can block. Miles Sanders, he puts effort into blocking. And honestly, I attribute that to Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley, that's why running backs that come to Philadelphia, they block.
Them
Deuce
to do it.
Staley is the reason why our running backs put forth an effort to block. I mean, from Brian Westbrook to LaShawn McCoy, all of these guys, historically have been blockers. So shout out to Deuce Staley for that.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, he's going to be that's going to be tough shoes or big shoes to fill, I should say, for Jamel Singleton. So that's going to be interesting to see how he fills that role. And yeah, definitely going to miss Deuce. He was like you said, a huge contributor to not only the running backs on this football team, but just the presence that he brought as a former player from the organization who had a lot of success
Mhm,
in his playing time, and then for being just a very stable coach for us for a long time through
mhm.
multiple turnovers at head coach is pretty impressive. That says a lot about the guy, a lot about his work ethic and things like that. Not all these coaches were forced to keep him, and they did. So that speaks volumes to me. And yeah, shout out to Deuce Staley for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to be very, very, very much missed in Philadelphia, and hopefully, like I said, Jamel can somewhat fill those shoes going forward. Yeah, I do too, MK. He said, "I wish Deuce was still on this team." Hell yeah, those were awesome days. When he was the running back of the Eagles, it was fun times to watch him play football. The energy that he brought, the physicality that he brought as a running back, he definitely didn't shy away from contact. That's for sure. He was very tough.
Yeah, I hope in our lifetime, that we're able to see him get the head coaching job at some time, whether it's later on in his career. I
Yeah,
just hope that he comes back to Philly and ends it the right way.
that
He
would
he
be
deserves that opportunity.
that would be pretty cool. And even if it isn't in Philly, I think as long as he gets that opportunity somewhere, that would be awesome to
Very
see.
true.
And yeah, definitely um, want to see Juice get to that level because I think he deserves it. He's worked really, really hard and getting there. So I agree with you 100%. But yeah, I mean, we've almost been on for 2 hours now. It's coming up on that time. But yeah, do you have any closing comments for us or any questions for me or anything like that before we get out of here?
No questions for you, man, but I do want to thank you so much for having me on, man. It was really a pleasure to spend about 2 hours with you, man. Anytime you want to collab, I'm just a phone call away or a DM away.
Yes, sir.
I see why you got to 1,000 followers so quick, man. Such a
I
great
appreciate it.
host. Thank you so much for allowing me in front of your guest and your family over here
Yes,
on the
sir.
Nest Out West YouTube channel, Philly Foothills. And man, I'm just excited. I'm excited to get it going. I'm excited for the season to get started. And I know that this year is going to be a very, very, very special year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Even if we don't win it all, it's going to sort of create the roadmap for where we're going to be. But I think this year was this offseason was a great first step when you think about what we came from. Like we're a totally
Yeah,
different team. It's a totally different feel. It's a totally different energy on this team, and I'm just excited. I'm really excited, man. So yeah, again, thank you so much for having me on, and shout out to everybody who's still in the chat room and those who sort of stopped by. Thank you guys so much. Again, my name is Pablo Gary, your number one Eagles fan from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And just thank you for having me on.
absolutely. It was my pleasure. And yes, guys, the link to his channel is in the description of this video. So all you got to do is click on that. It'll take you right to his channel. And yeah, go check out his content. And if you like what you hear and see, definitely make sure you like, share, and subscribe to his channel. He's definitely been putting out that good content, and I can't wait to see more and more from you, because I really like your aspects and your opinions on things, and just the, you really come with that good, strong, smooth voice. So I really appreciate it. And
I appreciate that.
it's good to find, you know, more and more Eagles fans that not only have the passion for the team, but can bring the energy, to their channel and to YouTube. And we're making it turn green, baby. So
Oh yeah,
absolutely, it's definitely appreciated.
fly Eagles fly, baby.
Yes, sir. So until next time, all my Philbillies out there, Eagles Nation, we fly until we die. Stay mean, stay green. Thanks for viewing me on your screen. And as always, most importantly, keep it fuego.